7 years. That's how long it's been since the Kyuubi's rampage scarred Konohagakure. The fourth Hokage, in a desperate act, sealed not just the beast but its very essence, dividing the yin and yang halves of its chakra and binding them to a single child, Naruto Uzumaki. This unorthodox sealing, while saving the village, painted Naruto as a demon child. Names like Demon Fox became his unwelcome companions. Shunned and ostracized, his childhood was a desolate landscape of loneliness. No playmates, no conversations, just the gnawing ache of isolation. At some point, a weary acceptance settled in. By the tender age of 7, he carried the weight of a man. He sought attention, resorting to shady stuff, only to realize it was a fruitless pursuit. So, Naruto retreated. He began to live a solitary existence, his solace found in the rustling leaves of the training grounds. There, fueled by a yearning for something more, he pushed himself to the limit. No mentor, just his own grit and the simmering power within him. His goal, the Chunin exams. A chance to prove his worth, to earn a sliver of respect in the village that ostracized him. It wouldn't be easy, but Naruto, the boy who carried 2 beasts, was nothing if not determined. One day, while training on the outskirts of Konoha, exhaustion finally caught up with him. Reaching a secluded riverbank, the sound of rushing water beckoned. Stripping off his sweat-drenched clothes, he sank beneath the cool spray of a cascading waterfall. As the water pummeled his tired muscles, a rare moment of peace washed over him. Gazing back at the path he'd walked alone, a quiet pride filled him. "So far, all by myself," he murmured, the water muffling his voice. "It's been a hard journey, but there's still a long way to go. But I won't give up. I'll become Hokage, not just for myself, but to earn the respect of this village that turned its back on me." This resolve, stronger than ever, rekindled the fire in his eyes. Naruto, the boy who carried 2 beasts, would carve his own path, one punch, one step at a time. Naruto got up and started drying his body with a worn cloth that served as both shirt and towel. Suddenly, his gaze fell upon an old cave in the woods. It seemed centuries old, its entrance veiled by overgrown vines and shrouded in an unsettling shadow. Unlike the rest of the sun-dappled forest, an unnatural chill seemed to emanate from its depths. It felt hidden, not just from the modern world, but from time itself. A prickle of curiosity, laced with a hint of apprehension, sparked within him. As if beckoned by an unseen force, Naruto couldn't help but wonder, was this cave destined for him to stumble across, or was it best left undisturbed? Naruto, curiosity a raging inferno in his chest, abandoned drying and rushed towards the cave. Cobwebs, thick and dusty, draped the entrance like a neglected curtain. With a determined grunt, he tore through them, their scratchy resistance a minor annoyance compared to the thrill of exploration. The cave mouth swallowed him whole. Sunlight was a distant memory within 10 meters, replaced by an inky blackness that pressed against him. Fumbling in his pouch, he retrieved a crude torch, its meager flame casting dancing shadows on the damp walls. The air grew thick and stale, the silence broken only by the rhythmic drip-drip of unseen water. For what felt like an eternity, though in reality it was closer to 20 minutes, Naruto trudged deeper, the torch flame battling back the encroaching darkness. Then, a glint of something caught his eye. A hidden passage, barely visible in the flickering light, branched off from the main tunnel. It was narrow, impossibly so for an adult, but for a 7-year-old like Naruto, well, that was a different story. With a triumphant grin, he squeezed through the opening, the torch held high. Emerging on the other side, he blinked in the sudden darkness. The passage had opened into a small cavern, its secrets waiting to be unveiled by the flickering torchlight. What awaited him in this hidden chamber? Naruto's jaw dropped. He'd never seen anything like it. Words were etched onto the walls, swirling in a strange language he couldn't quite understand. They looked super old, like they'd been there forever. Even cooler, there were 2 tunnels leading out of the cave. But above them, something spooky was written. It said one tunnel led to success, the other to, well, not success. Naruto's stomach did a flip-flop. This wasn't exactly a playground anymore. Should I even keep going? He thought out loud. This whole place feels creepy, and I don't want to get stuck down here forever. It was getting light outside, almost morning already. Maybe it was best to head home. But just as he was about to turn around, something caught his eye. Tucked around the corner of the room was a smooth stone. On it, more words were written. This time, they were clear as day. Moving this stone will give you a hint for the right path. Now Naruto was really curious. A hint. Maybe that was the key to figuring out which way to go. He wasn't scared anymore, just excited about the adventure. What kind of hint would the stone give him? And where would the right path lead? Naruto, heart pounding with excitement, grabbed the stone and gave it a good shove. The ground rumbled beneath his feet, and with a crash, one of the passageways sealed itself shut with a pile of rubble. Guess that decided which way he was going. Wasting no time, Naruto squeezed through the remaining passage, jogging towards the end. He emerged into another chamber, this one smelling old and dusty, like a tomb that hadn't been touched in centuries. In the center sat a stone coffin, and beside it, a giant boulder with a single word carved into it. Forbidden. Intrigue burned bright in Naruto's eyes. What secrets could be hidden under a label like that? Ignoring the warning, he shoved the boulder aside with all his might. In a flash of light, a scroll materialized in front of him, its surface glowing with an otherworldly energy. This was insane. Taking a deep breath, Naruto unfurled the scroll. It wasn't a map or a message, but a complex sealing jutsu, a forbidden technique. Hesitantly, he pressed his hand against the glowing seal, channeling his chakra into it. The entire cave shuddered violently, the tremors shaking him to the core. "Oh no," he whimpered, his bravado crumbling. "Did I just doom myself?" After what felt like an eternity, though it was probably only 15 seconds, the shaking stopped with a deafening boom. The veil covering the stone coffin disintegrated, revealing its contents. Naruto stood frozen, fear prickling his skin. A hand, pale and wrinkled, emerged from the darkness. Then, a figure, a man with flowing white hair and ancient-looking clothes, sat up with a yawn. "Man," he grumbled, stretching his stiff limbs. "How long was that nap?" Naruto was panting, his heart hammering in his chest. Maybe he'd just awakened some kind of evil spirit. But then, the white-haired man spoke in a surprisingly casual tone. "Hey there, kiddo. You the one who freed the jutsu?" he asked, rubbing his eyes sleepily. Naruto let out a nervous chuckle. Yeah, I guess so. I just touched the scroll with my chakra and, bam. You popped out of that coffin. Who are you, anyway?" The man stretched languidly, his white hair shimmering in the torchlight. "The name's Tobirama Senju, kid. Second Hokage of the Leaf Village." Naruto's jaw dropped. "Whoa, seriously? You're not pulling my leg, are you?" The man chuckled. "No jokes, kid. Truth is, I'm not much for chit-chat. Time to get moving." Just like that, he vanished in a puff of smoke. Naruto's jaw slammed shut. "Wait. Don't go," he yelled, but the mysterious dude was already gone. Stuck alone in the creepy cave, Naruto gulped. "Okay, that was weird. Maybe I should just get out of here." He scrambled back through the tunnels, the torchlight flickering wildly. Finally, he burst out of the cave entrance, blinking in the warm sunlight. Relief washed over him, but then, he froze. Standing right outside, as casual as can be, was the white-haired man. It was like he'd been waiting for Naruto all along. "Listen up, kid," the man said, his voice surprisingly firm despite his earlier casualness. "I know who you are, and let's just say I understand your struggles." Naruto's eyes widened. "What? But how? We just met. Are you psychic or something?" The man, who Naruto now knew was the second Hokage, shook his head with a faint smile. "Let's just say certain things are clear to me. But there's a whole lot more hidden in the shadows, things better left unsaid for now." Naruto frowned. "Whatever. Honestly, I don't care about that secret stuff. All I want is to become Hokage, the leader of this village. The past is the past. I just gotta train harder, become the strongest ninja there ever was." Tobirama crossed his arms, a hint of amusement flickering in his eyes. "That's quite the ambition, kid. But just doing push-ups and learning basic fighting moves won't make you a top ninja. You need a mentor, someone to guide you." Naruto scuffed his foot on the ground. "Yeah, I figured. But who would want to teach a loser like me? Nobody even bothers to talk to me, let alone train me. I'm always on my own, alone on the streets, alone at the park, alone training in the woods, even alone when I eat my ramen in my apartment." Tobirama stroked his beard thoughtfully. Well, I suppose I could offer some help. But listen up, kiddo, I ain't got all day to babysit some dreamer. Here's the deal. If you want to get strong, you gotta learn ninjutsu too. Techniques that use your chakra, not just your fists." Naruto's eyes lit up. "Really? You'd be willing to teach me? That would be awesome." Tobirama snorted. "Don't get ahead of yourself, kid. Hokage or not, I ain't got the time to babysit some dreamer. You want a teacher, find yourself a proper sensei." Naruto's face fell. "But who would even take a chance on me? Everyone avoids me like the plague. Look, I know it might sound crazy, but wouldn't it be better to learn from a legend like you? Besides," he lowered his voice, a hint of suspicion creeping in, "part of me thinks you're just messing with me. How can you be the second Hokage anyway?" Tobirama's eyes narrowed, a flicker of anger crossing his face. "What did you say, brat? You think I'm some kind of fake? Watch this then." Tobirama's eyes narrowed in a sudden burst of anger. Before Naruto could blink, the second Hokage vanished in a puff of smoke. In his place, a swarm of identical figures materialized, shadow clones. Each one launched into a coordinated attack, then vanished again in a flash of blue light. The ground rumbled as a shockwave erupted from the spot where they disappeared, leaving a crater 5 meters wide and clearing a 50-meter radius of the forest into dust. Naruto stared, mouth agape, at the devastation before him. The power radiating from the second Hokage was unlike anything he'd ever felt. Whoa. He stammered, a mixture of awe and fear in his voice. That's incredible. You really must be the second Hokage. Please, teach me. Be my master. Tobirama reappeared in front of him, a hint of a smirk playing on his lips. Heh, kid, he chuckled, you'd be 100 years too early to catch up to my level. And like I said, I ain't got the time to babysit. Naruto wasn't giving up. Okay, I get it, he conceded, scratching his head in frustration. But listen, I gotta learn how to fight better. There's this Uchiha kid named Sasuke. Tobirama's smirk vanished in an instant. His eyes widened in surprise. What did you just say, brat? He snapped, his voice sharp. Naruto, oblivious to the sudden shift in mood, repeated himself. I said, there's this Uchiha kid named Sasuke. He's a total jerk, but he's strong, and I gotta find a way to surpass him. Tobirama stared at Naruto, his expression unreadable. Uchiha? You mean to tell me there are still Uchiha left? Yeah, there used to be a whole bunch of them, Naruto explained, oblivious to the second Hokage's sudden intensity. But some dude named Itachi Uchiha wiped them all out, his entire clan. Sasuke's his little brother, and he hates Itachi for it. Wants to kill him for revenge. Tobirama's jaw clenched tight. Hold on a minute, that's messed up. Listen here, kid. Itachi Uchiha, well, let's just say the story's more complicated than you think. But one thing's for sure, we can't let the Sasuke character turn into some vengeance-crazed maniac. That's bad news for everyone. Here's the deal, Naruto. You show some promise, and I like that you're not afraid of a challenge. Starting tomorrow, I'll train you. But listen up, this ain't gonna be some walk in the park. You gotta be dedicated, gotta be willing to push yourself harder than you ever thought possible. Naruto's eyes widened with excitement. You'll train me? Really? That's awesome. Thanks a bunch, second Hokage. Now, with your training, I'll show Sasuke exactly what he's messing with. He puffed out his chest, a confident grin spreading across his face. Tobirama chuckled, a low rumble that sent shivers down Naruto's spine. Don't get too cocky, kid. But hey, that kind of fire in your belly, that's what makes a great ninja. Now, take this scroll. Anytime you need me, use it to summon me. But remember, this training, it's a one-way street. You mess up, you slack off, and this whole deal is off. You in? Naruto replies with excitement, yes, I'm in.